Okay, go for it. We're talking about objections and missed opportunities.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the, yeah.
Okay.
So basically I'm all jelly because everybody's going on this Success Club trip, and I'm like, oh man, I want to go and I've got work to do. So SC10 by the end of the month is the goal. And so anyway, I'm getting
And you're at 2.
I'm at 2. I'm getting back in touch with old customers, and actually had an old customer reach out, and now I feel like he's kind of one of my main stallers. So I'm going to talk through that one, and then a couple of the others that I haven't really been in good contact with, I'm more just starting conversation with them instead of like, hey, by the way.
Yeah, like starting fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so I'm not going with like, hey, like I decided like I give a crap about what I'm doing now, so buy more stuff.
Right. No. Yeah. No. And you know, okay, so for those of you who are not here, which is many of you, what we've been talking about, Kimberly and I have been talking about, is going over your old customer list that's in the Beachbody Coach Online Office, and looking at your old customers and getting in contact with them again and starting new conversations. So that's where a lot of this is coming from, and old challengers too. Okay.
Yeah. So I haven't done the 10 per night you told me to, but I have done 10.
That's a good start.
I gotta do some more tonight.
And let me say too that what we were talking about was messaging 10 people each night till the your teeth look very pretty, till the month is over, which when we started was 13 days, right?
Yeah.
13 days. So when we started talking about this is 13 days, that would be 130 people. She needs 10 Success Club points. That's 5 people. She needed 10. Now she needs 4 or 5. Now she needs 4, which is 8, which is 4 people. And the statistic usually technically is 1 in 10. So if you were to message 130 people, theoretically, you should get 13 people, which should get you 26 success points. But the goal is 4 people. Okay. Sorry for interrupting.
And I would say that 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 of those older customers actually would be pretty good contenders for
getting going again. Oops. Somebody's frozen. Hi.
I'm going to join a rock climbing gym or whatever.
Oh. Okay. So you want to talk through the staller first?
Yeah,
the one that contacted you before you contacted him? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, we talked on the phone, and you know, we have music in common and stuff like that. But and I sent him regular vanilla and vanilla vegan packets. I don't know that he's even tried either of them, and I've reminded him.
Men.
Yeah, gonna look at my 21 day fix stuff that's been in a drawer. I think a program might help instead of what I make up for myself. And then I gave him some I gave him a link to some simple meal prep stuff from the Beachbody blog. And then also the buffet style thing from the blog, you know, just for people that, you know, need to make use of rotisserie chicken and cut up vegetables and really easy stuff. And then, you know, whatever, conversation and blah, 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 blah. There's been a lot of conversation. Then he's like, doing food prep tonight, or no, he asked me, are you doing food prep tonight? When is dialogues? I'm like, I am. I'm going to boil some eggs, make some egg cups because I like the sous vide eggs from Starbucks, and I'm making a quinoa and bean salad, have some other stuff mapped out. Wahoo, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Got the stuff. Thanks. Good. Let me know which you prefer. Need a recipe suggestion. Yes, I like recipes. I gave him my go-to recipe, and then I also gave him a link to vanilla recipes. And then I checked in on Tuesday. Hey, just checking in on you. Have you tried both vanilla shakes? No, but I ate plenty of chocolate cake over the weekend for my son's 18th birthday. I am back on track today, though, but forgot the shake packs at home. Ever done rock climbing, by the way? I want to do this now. Nothing crazy, but like safe indoor stuff or maybe easy outdoor. And then, you know, he's like talking about the movie El Capitan. And anyway, I was like, yeah, well, that was totally insane. Well, go get those shakes so we can get you feeling better. And then I said, I'm starting a group on April 1st for Ultimate Portion Fix that can be done with or without workouts. That's where we really lean on those containers to help reteach us how to eat. Want more info or on that, or do you want to stick with the all access to Beachbody On Demand plus Shakeology? Because I've already sent him Share a Cart, which is good because it means then he's getting reminders about that. So that's another reason why it's good to utilize that tool.
Do they do they send out reminders?
They do, yeah.
Ooh, I like.
Yeah, I don't know if they send out more than one, but they do send out at least one reminder because I've even gotten one from stuff that's in my cart that I forget to buy. They're like, hey, did you know that you have this in your cart? I'm like, yeah,
well,
I know.
Yeah, I do, but I didn't know they did that with Share a Cart.
I think so. Maybe not. But anyway, then he's like, can I order more containers just by themselves? Wendy got rid of my old ones. I need to get on the link you sent. Lol. Well, that's me. Lol.
I thought that was...
No, that's me. Lol. Well, if you do the Ultimate Portion Fix, then you get containers, a cookbook, a workbook, and a tracking journal, plus the videos that guide you through it all. That would be a different link. But yeah, look over what's already in your cart. If you end up getting the challenge pack with Beachbody On Demand, then I'll mail you containers, my treat.
That's what I do. I do the same thing.
Yeah. Then he writes back, difficult decisions. This is like at 11 in the morning. This time of day is when the major sugar chocolate cravings kick in. Ugh. And I wrote, perfect time for your shake.
Yeah, that's what I always say. I totally agree with that. It's for reals, man.
I had an apple. And then I'm like, are you eating before work? It may be that you don't have enough energy because, of course, that's some of what we're learning, you know, with the certification.
Yes.
And then, you know, blah, 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 but just more stalling. I'm like, yeah, you need to be eating somewhere, you know, something every 2.5 to 3 hours. And now it's Thursday and I haven't talked to him, so I need to message him tomorrow. But like, dude, poop or get off the potty.
Well, I have like 3 people who are doing that exact same thing right now. They're just like stalling. And I don't even know why. Like one of them is somebody who already had Shakeology before and she just wanted to get more, but she canceled her subscription back in December. And now she's like, oh, I need more. She told me it's like 3 weeks ago. And then I was like, okay, well, thought I work with her. So I'm like, let's talk at work. And so one day she came by and she's like, oh, I really want Energize. And so we got her Energize, and then she really likes the Energize. And then another coworker was saying, hey, you should just get the discount like I do. And she's like, what's the discount? And I told her about it. And she's like, yeah, let's do that. And then I was texting her about 2 weeks ago over the weekend. And she's like, I don't really want to do that. Like, all right. So then, but she's like, but I do need more Shakeology. So finally, like a couple days ago, I made a cart for her. I said, what flavor Shakeology do you want to make in you a cart? You know, it's just like a good friend of mine. I ride horses with her too. And so I just made her a cart and I said, whenever you're done, just tell me and I can set it up to come less frequently if you want me to. And she's like, oh, that's great. And she hasn't done anything. And the cart's been there for like 5 days. Like, you know, but I mean, I guess what you could say with him is, I've got this group starting on the 1st, and I want to make sure you have everything that you need to get started when we start on the 1st. That's something that I tell people a lot. Or, you know, you could say the pricing changes as of the 1st, and I'd like for you to get a better deal. So let's, let's make I don't know, what's the word I was going to use? Let's make good use of the pricing that we have now. That's another one. Or, sometimes they say, I'm not really sure what the pricing is going to be come the first. So we might want to jump on this now. Because that's true.
Yeah.
I don't really know. It may be the same. It's probably going to be the same, but I don't know. So that way I don't feel like I'm, no. You wanted to create some urgency.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the one who contacted you. So it makes sense that he's sort of ready to go. He's just being a foot dragger. So try some of those. Okay, let's move on to one of the other ones.
Okay, I reached out to a customer. Now, granted, she was never super invested, I don't think. I think she just was happy with my results. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah. Let me see. No. Oh, so I wrote to her on Wednesday. I was like, I was thinking about you, and then one of your posts popped up in my feed. That was a very cool piece of art you posted. A friend of yours, right? How are things for you these days? And then blah, 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 she's dealing with stuff. And then she's like, I saw a pic of you in a dress that doesn't fit anymore. You look amazing. I'm working on getting my health together and dropping some pounds right now. Thank God spring is here so I can hike again, blah, 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 blah. And then, I was like, oh yeah, the new scene, just chit chat stuff. And then I was like, well, can I help you get back on track? I'm going to be teaching people how and why to use the portion control, the portion containers. And I found some recipes that my picky ass kids will actually eat. She has a kid. And she was like, and chit chat stuff. And then thank you for the offer. I'm working a program at the Peak right now, which is a gym. So I think I'm good, but thank you. You do inspire. And then I just asked, what's your program? Well, she's doing South Beach and yoga. I know. And I wrote, love yoga. And then she didn't say anything more after that. So I'm thinking that's just someone I check back with in a few months, right?
Exactly. Like yes, exactly. Like, how's it going? How's that plan working out for you?
Yeah.
Lol.
Just make a note. So, South Beach or maybe like, hey, last time we talked, I know you were doing yoga. What are you doing now? Are you ready to do something a little more challenging?
Oh, I like that. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple of others that I'm really just kind of more just, kind of easing back into it.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit, again, not anyone that was ever very committed. You know what I'm saying? So,
but these are previous customers though that have purchased before.
Customer. Yeah. And then another one that it's on me, actually, I just, what did I send her? We're just, we chat kind of back and forth. Sometimes we chat a lot and sometimes we don't. And I was like, we were talking via chat or via text message. And I was like, so I hinted at this in a text message, but I'm doing a deep dive into the nutritional info behind the container stuff. And I'm really impressed. Would love for you to start doing this with me. I'm reviving the group and reviving my side biz. And she's an entrepreneur, so she gets it. I was like, can I send you some info? And she wrote, I will look at info.
Oh, that means you should send it to her.
I know, but what should I send her?
Oh, send her the information about so send her, say, would you like me to send you an email or do you want it here on a message? And if she, either way, a little paragraph about UPF and then one of the videos, a link to the video. And then I would send her, did she drink Shakeology before?
Yeah.
And then just say, just a friendly reminder, Shakeology rocks and it really, really helps in this situation. And then you can give her, just as a reminder, like, or maybe flavors have changed since she's used it. And you could say, hey, we've got these great new flavors. Maybe you want to try one of them out. It goes along with Portion Fix. You get a really good deal when you buy them together, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
That's an opportunity because she's not saying, I will look at info, like I'm going to go look it up. She's saying, yeah, send me info. I'd look at it.
Yeah, no. She's like I said, she's an entrepreneur and she gets it. And she's actually someone that I actually did a little bit of coaching with, like business coaching with, when I was just kind of confused, since she's a musician and she does business coaching, I was like, this might be kind of helpful just to kind of wrap my brain around this. And she, she's always been very supportive of me doing Beachbody and, and the fact that musicians need to be healthy and, she needs to be healthier. Pretty sure she's vegan. Which is of course not a problem. And especially with so many great recipes. I mean, I love that new recipe book. It's so good. And then, there's just some other people that I'd like to get back in. And then I had someone ask a second time, what are you doing? So I have to message her tonight. Yeah. And I was at breakfast this morning with an old friend. And I don't think she knew that, Beachbody was more than just workouts. And so I was kind of telling her a little bit about the shake, but it was just kind of like, that sounds like a lot of salads. Cause I'm like, yeah, it's basically the equivalent of like eating 7 salads. It has like all this, super, nutrition in it and, but I don't, I mean, she's foreign, so maybe she just didn't get it, but I'm also like, how do I, because she'd be a great customer to have.
Well, you could send her a text and just say, I loved having breakfast with you this morning. It was super fun. You and I talked briefly about that awesome drink that I drank. And I just wanted to see if you wanted some more information. I'd love to send you an email so you can really look at it. Would you feel comfortable doing that? Yeah. Since she's a closer person, I'd do a text. That's what I'd do there.
Okay.
What do you think about that? Feel good about that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I think pretty much everybody else I know what to do.
Okay. So, so you're going to send another 10 messages tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, I already have my list.
Oh my gosh, look at you, girlfriend. Awesome. So you're going to do that, and then you're going to follow up with the people that it's time to follow up with. You're going to follow up with them tonight, and then you're going to reach out to a couple, well, I guess even like the person you had breakfast with, that's a follow-up, but I don't know that, I mean.
I'll probably wait and do that tomorrow.
Yeah, I was going to say you could do it tonight, but I would probably wait. Yeah. Got some irons in the fire, and you got time. You got 9 days. A lot can happen in 9 days. But the biggest thing here is the consistency piece.
Yeah.
It's just staying consistent the whole time. Like every day you're sending your messages. Every day you're following up. Every day you're connecting with new people, because you have to keep that pipeline going. You have to keep that going. And if you do that, you are going to hit this goal easy, easy, easy. It won't feel like you're.
I think where I get stuck, and I think where a lot of people get stuck, is like, especially if I'm a people person, but I'm not, and so it's like the effort of going, making those connections, instead of it being transactional, but where you're really like, investing in these people and getting to know what they need and stuff. And it takes time. And I think sometimes I just get I think I put the cart before the horse a little bit. And then And then I'm like, well, I'm not going to get a sale, you know, which is so stupid because that's not even how I feel about it, except that I do feel super pressured because I really want to hit this goal. Right. So I'm having a hard time. I'm having a really hard time.
So you almost have to be a little careful in your wording so that you don't sound desperate. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, right. So I think like what you've done with this guy is really good because you've continued conversation, you've brought things up, he has a card, like you've done all the right things in there and you haven't rushed that at all. You know, but the thing is that, and I totally get what you're saying. And I'll say this, like, if you have enough conversations going and you're still starting new conversations, all that stuff's going to fall into place. And the thing is, you're going to have enough conversations going that you're not ever going to feel like, oh my gosh, that person has to buy or it's not going to happen. So if you have enough going on, you're never going to feel desperate. You're going to be like, okay, that's fine. We're just going to push him off to April or May or whatever. You know, like this one person you said, you're going to follow up in a couple of months. You know, that's cool that you can say in your head, like, that's fine. I can follow up. She's going to be my May person. You know, but if you have enough people that you're talking to on your list that you're consistently have something going on with or starting new conversations, you've got enough going on that you're never going to feel like if they don't buy, I'm screwed. And so it's never going to feel like a sale because that's not what you want it to feel like. You don't want it to feel like you're just selling to people just to hit a goal. You want to feel like you're helping people get to their goal, not you having people buy from you so you can reach your goal. Because that doesn't feel good. That feels icky and salesy and so if you've got enough things going on, enough irons in the fire, you're never going to feel that way. So that's why you need to have, you know, 100 messages going out and 15 conversations going on at one time. And yes, it does take time, but sometimes, you know, like I probably have 15 or 20 conversations going on right now. And I keep track of them in my phone. You know, like I just pushed some people off for a couple of days because I'm like, it's too soon, you know, like, I've got 1, 2 to follow up with tomorrow. I've got 1, 2, 3 to follow up with on Saturday, you know, like those are all different people. And then 1, 2 on Monday. I mean, that's what, 7 already, 8, that's 8. And then 9.
So how are you keeping track of that, Kim?
It's all on my phone. So I keep it on a calendar. And so all the people that I'm actively conversing with, I'll put a reminder in my phone. So like today, well, I can't count today because I moved everybody around. So like tomorrow, I'm going to follow up with a friend of mine whose name is Tanya. And I talked to her about 2 weeks ago. And then she was like, I'm out of my mind busy trying to figure out college stuff. She's like, I can't even think about this right now, but I really want to do this, but I can't even think about it. And I said, it's fine, let's talk later. So I put in my calendar 2 weeks ago to follow up with her on Friday the 22nd, because that was 2 weeks. So that's where I got that from. The person that I'm following up with right after her is somebody that I talked to on Monday night, and I just sent her a text tonight, but she's a little flaky, so I'm going to follow up with her again tomorrow. So I moved her from today into tomorrow. And then, and like right now I've got a guy that I'm going to follow up with, but it's too soon. So I'm going to move him. So he and I were talking, and then he was like, oh, I'm going to wait on Shakeology. I've got an exercise plan I'm doing right now because he's like 100 pounds overweight. And he's like, I really want to do P90X, but not right now, blah, blah, blah. So fine. And then he was like, what is this new eating plan? So I sent him something last night. So I'm going to take his follow-up and move it to probably Saturday night, just because I'm going on vacation. And I don't want to not follow up with him before I go. But so every time, like I'm talking to somebody about Shakeology, every time they come up in my calendar, like every time we have a conversation, their follow-up immediately goes into my calendar. So like,
can you like take a screenshot of that and like post it in when you post this video, like post it in the
comments
or something, just so I can, because I'm kind of more visual. I just love to see stuff like that.
So I'll just give you like, I'll take 2 pictures of like follow-up stuff.
Okay.
There. So, and so they just keep moving down in my calendar. So like if I start a conversation with somebody tonight and they respond back and we're actually talking about fitness and nutrition and blah, 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 I'm going to say, so it's Thursday night. Let's say I wasn't going on vacation next week. On Monday, I would put their name in Monday. Follow up 8 p.m. Tammy Smith. She's actually a really famous eventer, but that's not who I'm talking to. But follow up with Tammy Smith on Monday at 8 p.m. And then if I follow up with her on Monday and I'm ghosted, then I put a note in there to follow up with her on maybe Thursday. You know, so it just keep moving it. So like the one for tonight, it said 8:45, follow up with this dude. And so I took that and just opened it and edited it and moved it to Saturday. So I just keep moving it. And so like every night before I go to bed, I go back through my calendar for the day and make sure that I either moved somebody on or I actually did the follow-up. And I don't stop moving them on until they've purchased and they're in the challenge group. Then actually what I do is move them to a 21-day check-in where I check in with Shakeology and discount coach stuff and all that. But then they fall off the follow-up. It's almost like my own streak. That's my system. So everybody goes in. When they purchase, they get a 21-day follow-up, and then they fall out. Unless they don't need to for whatever reason, like unless there's something else going on. But, you know, so I'll continue to put stuff in. Stacy, she's like, oh, I just saw this. Sorry, Stacy. I'm recording it. Well, she can't hear me right now. She'll hear this one I'm saying it. That was dumb. Okay, it was a dumb comment. Oh, good. Thank you. So anyway, I'll do that and continue to do that until you know the pipeline is finished. So the pipeline is finished when they become a discount coach, right? That's the end of it. So that's how and then I follow up with people, like I follow up in batches, like with challengers at the end of every 30 days. I follow up with everybody like the next day, like, hey, how was your challenge? What can I do to support you? We're moving forward. Are you in? But that's the pipeline. That is exactly how I do it. And it's all on my Google Calendar. Yeah, I'll take pictures. I took pictures of it. I'll post the link to this, and then you can see kind of what it looks like. But they move. So like if the people, like but then like maybe I'll look at like one of my follow-ups and say, I really just talked to her 2 days ago. It's too soon. I'll just move her on. Just like Streak. It's just like Streak. I just do it for myself. Exactly the same. So, and then occasionally I'll go back and look at my sticky notes and make sure I've got all the right people going, and like, oh crap, I forgot about that person. Okay, well I need to add them back into the system. So that's what, so it annoys Frank because he follows my Google Calendar and it gives him, you know, like, he's like, oh, I need to follow up with Alexis. Okay. It drives him nuts because it's like all of my stuff, you know, but still, like so today I had probably 6 follow-ups in there for today. And right before I got on the phone with you, I did 4 of them.
Okay.
And one of them was just, hey, this friend of mine that I've been friends with since I was 9, I was like, she's been going through a really hard time, and she also wants to start exercising and doing Shakeology, but every time we talk about it, she's like, oh my gosh, I still haven't looked at the email because her ex-husband has jacking her around again, and she's like, that's all I can think about right now. She's got 4 kids, and it's awful. And so like today, I was like, it was on my phone to follow up with her, and so I did, but instead of saying, hey, did you check out the email? I said, hey, I've been thinking about you, and I'm praying for you, and I hope you're okay. That's all. That's literally what it said. You know, because sometimes that is what you need. Or, you know, like another lady that has tried Shakeology that hasn't committed to it yet. She's been having some stomach issues, and I think she has IBS. But I just every once in a while, I'll just email her and say, hey, how's your tummy? That's it.
Yeah.
It's just keeping you at the top, keeping you at the top of their mind, and how you can help them at the top of their mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like really important. So that's how I do it in my phone, and it's very effective. And it works, and it's real easy, and it keeps you very organized, and then you don't forget about people.
Mm-hmm.
And then kick yourself at the end of the month going, crap, if I just would have sent one more message to that person. That won't happen because you've got a record of it and you're doing something about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So that's my system.
Cool.
It's not complicated. It's really like very similar to what I was doing with paper and pen before I started using the calendar. It's exactly the same.
It sounds like a lot like, Teamsy, like their approach to,
That's what I meant when I said streak. I meant Teamsy. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
I said streak. That's not what I meant. I meant Teamsy. It's exactly like Teamsy, except for it's on Google Calendar and I didn't pay for it.
Right.
I think it takes more effort to do it yourself at first, just to get into the habit of it. But once you're into the habit of it, it just, a reminder. So I set reminders like 30 minutes before and 5 minutes before said event, said reminder, whatever, that I was going to follow up with somebody. And if it comes up and I'm like, it's too early, I'll just move it. At least it reminds me to move it. And at the end of each day, I go back and look over, like right before I go to bed, I go back and look over and make sure that I did some sort of action on all the people that were supposed to be followed up with today. Whether it was to move them on to a different day, whether it was to actually follow up, or if I need to put a Shakeology on hold, every single one of them gets some sort of action, even if the action is just move it on tomorrow. It at least gets touched. So I don't end up with a day that has people that have been forgotten, ever, like rarely. And sometimes I'll even be like, I feel like I missed a couple days here and there, and I'll go back and look through the week and see if I missed anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it is like exactly like Teamsy. And once you get into the habit of it, it becomes just what you do.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've always noticed that you're super fast with it. I mean, like even when we've been at Summit and stuff and you're still working your business and you're so fast, I'm just like, oh man, math skills.
Not really. It's just, that's it. It's that. It's because it pops up and then I do something about it. Like it pops up and I do something about it. Whatever has to be done. And, but it's so easy to do once you get into the swing of it. And then the other thing that happens, like if you, like, for example, if you hit, this happened to me in February, so I'm saying this. So if you hit your Success Club goal at the beginning of the month. So in February, I hit Success Club 12 by the 5th. And I kind of slacked off the rest of the month following up with people because I'm like, sweet. And then I kind of started following up with people like the last week of February. And I'm at Success Club 6 right now. And usually I'm not at 6. Usually I'm at 10, 12, 14 by now. And I'm still sitting at 6. But I think it's because I slacked off last month and I moved people on and I'm like, me. And I didn't start new conversations. So this month I've been starting new conversations like crazy and following up with people that I've been talking to since January. And I really didn't do that in February. But if you really do what your phone is telling you to do, what your calendar is telling you to do, that will never happen. And you'll never get to the point, like I said before, where you're desperate for Success Club points, because you'll have so many conversations going that it's okay to push people off. Like Patty and I talk about this a lot. We talk about this like abundance mentality thing where it's like, well, do I go for Success Club random 16 or 18 when it doesn't do me any difference between 10 and 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 except for income? But in terms of benefits other than that, it doesn't really do much. Or do I hold people off at the end of the month and catch them at the beginning of the next month? But the cool thing is that if you are having these conversations, you're going to have that capability of being able to say, oh yeah, I can just push that person off. Like you start talking to them on the 23rd, and then you just kind of like maybe pepper your conversations a little further apart so that you make it to the first or the second to get them going. But what a luxury that is.
Mm-hmm.
Have that luxury to say, I don't really need that this month. Like, let's just go off a few days and get going on next month. That will happen to you if you do this system.
And when you say you're starting conversations, you're just talking about starting conversations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, hi, how's the weather?
No. So I always like to have something to talk about. And so when I say I'm starting new conversations, it's really people from the free groups. That's where these new conversations are coming from. And so I've already got something to talk with them about. It's not like, hey, how's the weather? It's like, hey, how'd you like the free group? Did you get anything good out of it? So those free group people are my bread and butter. Literally, that's where my new people are coming from, are from the free groups. And some of them take a while. I mean, I was telling, I don't remember who it was or what group I was talking in. And it may have been the One Star, I don't know, doesn't matter. I have been talking to the same person on and off for about 4 years. 4 years. She finally signed up the other day.
Jesus.
I know. 4 years. Like, are you kidding me? And she's adorable. She's awesome. But like, you just don't, you don't give up on people because you never know where they're going to come from. But she came from a free group 4 years ago. So those free group people take longer, I think, sometimes to convert, but sometimes they don't. Like, you'd be shocked. Like, some of them are like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do it. But that's where my, quote, new conversations are coming from, because I feel like I have something to talk about. Just like your people that commented on your picture with the dress, those are new conversations, but you have something to talk about. Like, you can't just cold call people like they do on Instagram. It pisses me off. Like, when I send somebody a friend, well, not friend request, whatever, follow thing, and then they follow back and they're like, oh, thanks for following me. Have you heard about It Works? And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's icky. You know, because you don't have anything to talk about. Like, you have to have something to talk about. So, you know, with your old customers, that's easy. With your people that commented on the dress picture, easy. Free group people, easy. Okay. That's all. Yeah, you know. So yeah, I think it's the cold call thing is just cheesy. And I know you don't like that. I know you don't like that either. So yeah, when I say new conversations, I'm talking about the, 110 people that I added to the last group.
Yeah. Okay.
So, did I tell y'all that I wanted to start the next group on the 1st? I did, right? The free group, we're starting on the 1st.
Okay.
Do I need to tell people that? Did I forget to tell people that?
I don't know.
Well, it's the day after we get back from the cruise, and there's a couple of pre-days in there because of grocery lists and stuff. So I'm going to start loading my stuff. I'm going to change the group name. Probably, I was going to do it tonight, but I'll just do it tomorrow. Change the group name, announce it, start advertising for it. You guys need to start putting your names in and do it. It's kind of a complicated group because it's cooking and meal planning. But I think it's going to be a really good group, and I think we're going to get a lot out of it. And the reason I did it was to dovetail with Ultimate Portion Fix, to be able to offer people Ultimate Portion Fix after this group's over. Like, that was my reasoning on doing what I did.
Yeah.
But maybe I should mention that in the text. I will. I'll send it in the Facebook message thing. But
and then do we have access to that?
I sent everybody, I invited everybody to it last night, and sent email out. So you should all have access to it. And it's done. And you can change, like, if you don't like the topic of don't change any of the food stuff, but you can change the, you have visitors. You can change the topic of the conversation if you don't like what I'm talking about. I don't care. Or you can just use what I put in there. Hey, girlfriend.
The 7-day
mhm,
detox.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'll let you go and be with your cuties. But this was good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Good call.
Super helpful.
Yeah, I'm going to stop the
Yeah.
recording.